All right. So, hello and welcome to Sound Mind, Sound Body. I'm Izzy Naud, and this series of workshops have been going on since beginning of 2023. Initially, I've been hosting sessions monthly to share about health and well-being in the electronic music with some tips and practices. I'm a health and well-being coach. I'm a Tai Chi master and Qigong facilitator, and also educated in Chinese medicine. And so I help artists and music professionals become masters of their health. And also I have a strong focus on burnout prevention because I myself have experienced a burnout back in 2011, and since I managed to recover and regain my health, I felt that I'm on a mission to help this industry be more sustainable and more healthy. And since last spring to spring 2024, I've been receiving guests, other health and well-being professionals in the music industry. They can be coaches or they can be doctors, well, more or psychologists or therapists or facilitators. And today I have the pleasure to invite James Anadzis, or I know you with the name James Locksmith. And James and I connected back in 2022, I think. That's already a while ago. And
Hmm.
then you invited me on your podcast, Electronic Music Live. And thank you for this because you were the first person who gave me the chance to express myself on someone else's platform. And so, James Locksmith, for the persons who don't know him, is a globally respected DJ, producer, and music industry professional with a career spanning decades across dance floors, radio, and artist development. As founder of Electronic Music Life, James leads a boutique agency and consultancy that bridges bookings, touring, and music business services while also serving as label partners as at SoSILLY Records. You'll tell us more about this, huh? And you've been drawing from your deep industry experience, and you support artists not only with management and strategic guidance, but also with personal development and coaching, helping them align their creative vision with sustainable careers. Your work weaves together artistry, entrepreneurship, and empowerment, building communities, brands, and futures in music worldwide. So tell me, you're originally from Australia, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes. I'm originally from Sydney. My background, family heritage is actually Greek. Um, I but born and raised in Australia, and I've lived in Greece over the years, on and off, and also I was based in Dubai and around the Middle East for a good 10 years up until 2021.
All right.
Mm.
And now, right now, you are in
I'm
Athens.
in I'm in Athens, yeah. I'm in Greece at the moment. Yeah. I'm
Amazing.
here. Yeah, I'm looking at spending more time in Greece now and looking at living here at greater lengths from next year. Yeah.
Mm, okay, okay. So, could you share a bit about your background? When did you started working in the music industry? What have you experienced? What have you been doing?
Sure. I won't go into too much detail, but I started DJing and when I was a teenager, um, and producing my first parties and events before I was legally allowed to. And I was inspired by dance music culture and hip hop culture as a young kid, and it sample culture, sampling music, and it just kind of evolved into that. I started a production company in my 20s, which was more like a label, and doing events and touring, where I sort of learned that stuff. And then I was always into community radio. Even in my teenage years, I worked in community radio, and community radio is very important and strong part of my development and in the industry, and was always there. I eventually worked for a community station for quite some time before leaving Australia, and I was worked more involved with sponsorship and sales, and in arts and culture, music segments, and I had a radio show as well there, and I worked in distribution with labels, managing many different labels. That's where I was gained a lot of access to a lot of music and artist labels, and so I was promoting a lot of new music for a while, and servicing Australia within community radio. Then moved to Dubai, and I was fortunate within days of arriving. I met some very similar, like-minded individuals, and they were just starting a new concept, and I joined them. Then I developed a partnership with Red Bull Music Academy at the time, and that evolved into keeping me in Dubai for a good 7-8 years, and where I developed a lot of relationships, events, and network across the whole region. I worked very heavily through Beirut, Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait, and later led to Saudi Arabia as well. And then where I still am involved in those parts, particularly Dubai, Bahrain, and Saudi, I still do a lot of work there. And I moved back to Australia in 21, just kind of unplanned. Moved back there for some personal reasons with my father, his health, and it kind of sparked, which was a great thing in the end. Wanted to re-establish myself in Australia, and then as an extension of my work and my involvement with events, touring, and working a lot with artists individually, and I developed my own agency, which I launched in February of 23, and it kind of pretty much just amalgamates everything that I've been doing: touring, artist management, and I work with a bunch of different artists and venues, and I do a bit of. I realized that management is very much like coaching, and so I kind of combine that. I'm by no means have I pretty much learnt everything myself. What I can share is from my own personal experiences. I haven't gone down the route of traditional sort of educational sort of stuff in terms of like university or colleges. I learnt from Hard Knocks and the School of Hard Knocks. I have done some of my own training, some courses in coaching, trauma-informed work as well. I've done a yoga course. I'm actually a certified yoga teacher, and also meditation is also a very big part of my life. Yoga and meditation I've adopted into my life for over 20 years, and I use the foundations of my day-to-day life, and but also health and fitness are a very big part. Training, exercise is I do every day. Movement every day. These are very important parts of my life that help me jump out of bed and continue the fight to serve people in the music industry. And yeah, it's a bit of a nutshell there.
Yes, that's super interesting. And I'm curious, so what made you decide to integrate well-being, health and well-being into your work with music and artist development?
Sure. I feel, look, the music in term electronic music uh, has been, obviously, if we look back at the foundations of it, and it's become such a big prominent industry, and uh, um, it was all, and it still is DIY a lot, but there are so many um, facets and businesses and multi layers of roles and jobs that you can create. Um, and these sort of things didn't exist before. Like, it was never, it was very much associated with hedonism, and which is still a big part of it's still there. Like, I mean, music and experimentation come hand in hand for for centuries, and it will all be there to the test of time. But it is, I think, if you want to uh, be in this industry and be successful, and I think with anything really, I mean, it's just not just this industry, but because of this industry and the demands that it has, and um, uh, the the territory that it has, I think it's imperative to create a health and well-being lifestyle attached to it if you want to be successful. I believe that, and to answer your question, I think in my early years, and like all of many young people, we party, and I think over time, um, you get older and you want to make wiser choices, and but I do, not that I regret the past, but I feel like if I adopted a lot of these principles that I have now and learnt over the years, um, uh, it would have changed a different trajectory for me, um, and so I feel like my choice, I think, is just really a desire to exchange and help others who may have struggled, or may be struggling with similar things that I've faced in the past. Being able just to share what I've learned and the solutions that I have found, um, both professionally and personally. I'm no way am I a trained psychologist or therapist. I can only teach what I've learned, and I share that along with business, along with marketing, along with music industry knowledge, along with music industry relationships, and combining that, um, and if I can help people along the way, then fantastic. That's something that I like. It inspires me. It lights me up to do that, and being able to bring these two worlds together is, um, I love doing it.
Great. Yes, like to be of service and to help people improve their lives,
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. I'm curious. So I work with four pillars that four health pillars that are sleep, nutrition, movement, exercise. and the last one being mental health or stress management.
Hmm.
Do you have a framework that you use? Um, what's your approach, if you would?
Yeah, look, very similar. I think nutrition, um, movement, whether it's training. I think dance is extremely powerful, um, and um, move, dancing where you can is, I think, an amazing way to move energy in the body. But I've really personally been really enjoying. I love weight training. And weight training is a real big part. I combine my yoga with my weight training, and it gives me this mind body connection and strength. Um, it helps, um, you know, build the mind body connection. It helps with my focus. I was never really a big weight trainer when I was a kid or younger. I kind of felt weight training. Uh, uh, I thought it was a bit too aggressive or too like, and I think as I realized, even from I think as I got older, that was, I think, my own journey in sort of expressing my own masculinity, and there was nothing wrong with that aggression or nothing wrong with that power or empowerment, and realizing not to suppress that, and um and so that's really helped me a lot in my 40s. I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm so glad that I adapted a lot of health and training when I did at this in these last 5-10 years, because it's really helped me um, get older gracefully. So I feel like I feel like the health. I feel like I'm stronger and healthier than I was when I was 25. Like as a result of that. So training's a big part. Movement's a big part. I like to walk daily. I go for long walks. I even do a lot of walking meditation. Um, I try to do that twice a day, or once a day, minimum, but training in the gym. Sleep and recovery, as you said, is a huge part. And I'm also actually quite fond of supplements. And I, aside from getting them where I can from natural things, but I think I'd like to add supplements to my food, um, and now, of course, nervous system regulation, um, doing breath work, uh, meditation. The gym actually is part of that. The gym actually helps the nervous system regulation in a big way, um, and um, and also, which I think we've all had experienced it, is isolation. So working with making sure that we're in the right communities, social experiences, being in the right social environments is extremely important, and choosing though and being wise about those circles that we are in as well. As they say, you are the subject of five people that you sort of hang out with. So I believe that very much. And that it's very clear that um, uh, the energy that you exchange with people is extremely important. Um,
Talking about communities, is there
yes.
are you do you have a community you offer to artists and music professionals you work with, that you created, where people exchange on a regular basis, or are you part of or can you recommend some WhatsApp groups or Discord, or what is out there in your ecosystem?
Sure. I don't have one personally myself, because when it comes to the coaching side of things, I work with individuals one-on-one at the moment. I do want to develop within my business that kind of model where that service, and I think, the journey that when I first started with trying to develop this agency, a big part of it, was to create these modalities, the podcast. The podcast was a huge part. Initially, that's what kind of sparked all this, and wanting to create some content. But I realized that the bandwidth and the energy that's required around that, and I think you could share the same thing. You've now learning to create more online presence and focusing on that, so you can start developing those kind of models within your business. And that takes time, and it takes a lot of resources and energy. And for me, I've had to kind of park that and put that aside. It's still something I'm very passionate about, and wanting to develop courses, all that sort of stuff is something that I've put a pause on for now, while I'm focusing on the bookings, the agency, the management stuff. And so communities that I'm in, there's only really one community that I dip into every now and then, which is an NFT community that's more, music arts related, on Discord. The rest of the stuff is completely not music related. Aside from, look, I engage with a lot of people in the music industry, so they are my community. I speak to a lot of people in the music industry, so I learn about that. I learn from people in, obviously, online marketing communities. So there's I'm a big fan of Joe Dispenza's work. I engage in that community from time to time. What else? What other? I'm just trying to think of other communities that I'm in at the moment. I can't think of them. These are pretty much, obviously, when I'm working with people in the music industry, and labels, they're, like I said, they're, as far as music's concerned, they're the ones that and of course my local gym in Sydney is where I live. I'm there daily. There is a great community there, and my local sort of community there. Previously, and I think we were also, when we first met, you were also part of Maston Kip's work. You're doing some stuff with Maston Kip out of California. I dip my toe in there here and there to learn a bit about what he's doing, but I haven't lately. That's kind of, there was a online dance community out of California that I engaged with for a while, where I get online, and they have these great, it's called Kinergy, and that was a really cool place for moving energy in the body and online sort of stuff. But yeah, I try to do a lot more things in real time now. We're so much online, so I try to go to events that I, as much as I possibly can. Where I'm physically meeting people. I think that's,
Yes,
yeah.
like ADE next week.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, so we'll finally get to meet in person.
Yeah, after all these years.
For sure. Then I can really check that you're a real person and not an AI. Like to be practical, what could you share like a few daily rituals or habits that you've seen artists adopt that improved that made a difference in their health and productivity? Is there anything
Sure.
about?
I think uh, just the way you schedule your gigs, scheduling your health and well-being is just as important. And so I feel like, especially if you're traveling, uh, and like now I'm on the road for 6 months. I'm like halfway through that, and I go back to Australia in January, early January, and so before I um, before I go to a city, I find the local gym, and I'm very strategic that way, and these are non-negotiables for me. I um, they're my the pillars. These are the sort of foundational things that I do to make sure, and also food is big. Nutrition is very big. Um, I'm not a vegetarian, but I try to eat clean as much as possible, especially on the road. I try to do my own sort of cooking as well, rather than eating out. So preparing meals, um, and I still try to do that even when I'm on the road. Um, and so for artists, um, it and these are things that I see, um, what are successful things, that other artists are doing as well. Um, and I referred at the beginning, I referred to um, the kind of uh, pillars and infrastructural things that you need in today as a electronic music professional or artist. Um, the, these things didn't exist, or this kind of way of. So now, because it's become such a big industry, so much demands, it's very important to have, to have these things in order to be able to function day to day, and um, making the time. I don't think there's one modality or one kind of thing. Like, it's a matter of putting so many different, like finding, experimenting what works for you, what makes you feel empowered, what makes you feel centered. It's a dual thing. Like, just doing meditation and vision boards is not enough. Like, and having exercise and just doing that is not. I think it's a combination of finding all these different kind of things that work for you, and try not to be so rigid. Like, I find, like, you can spend half of your day trying to tick off the boxes of all these kind of health things to do, and like, you can really center yourself in within minutes or in seconds. um it's it can be difficult. I think just really listening to yourself and listening within of what you need in that moment. It's not so much, well, I need to do 10 of these things before I can start my day and my work. Like, maybe just go for a walk, or um just to kind of, disrupt and get back. Sometimes I wake up, I don't think stress ever disappears. Like, it's there. It's a thing. It's how we manage and cope with it, and learning the tools that are going to center us, and try to find, load yourself up with um, all these different tools, and use them. I think, um, yeah, there's not one size fits all.
Right, definitely. And if we look at a more macro level, like how do you see, do you think that there's like a shift that has come up in the electronic music industry where where the artist's health is more valued? and also not only the artists, but like the people who work in the industry, who do like long hours and who have really demanding careers. And how can music businesses, for example, record labels, management agencies, booking agencies, promoters, etc., how can they become more health conscious and also play their role? Because my belief is that they need to be a strong actor in this, and not only the artists and the health and well-being professionals trying to make it happen. That the businesses there, they have also a responsibility. What's your position on this?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel, I mean, even from the time that we met, when we started talking about this more, and we're definitely seeing a lot of this in dance music spaces now. Like there are dedicated music festivals that are just based around um, health and well-being and connection, and you know, it's becoming more and more. It's almost the norm now. Like before, at some festivals, there's a yoga part of the day or a meditation thing at the start of the festival, and creating these kind of things for connection. And um, so, but yeah, to as I was saying before, I feel like the industry, because it's become evolved as such, and the the demands for professionals and artists in this industry are so high that it's very like it's becoming more of a norm. It's becoming more normalized that um, you know, it, it, people don't kind of joke about it, or joke about individuals who are choosing sobriety as well. And I think we're seeing a lot more artists choosing sobriety in the industry. They're finding that their performances are better. They're finding that they're able to engage with their art and their art form and their audiences. They're a lot more, and they're enjoying the experience so much more as well. So we're seeing a lot more of that as far as DJs are concerned in the DJ booth. Um, I think from people who need to for a responsibility. I think at the end of the day, it you can't force anyone to do anything, right? Like, and it comes down to the individual. You can only, and it goes with anything that you're putting out, right? So I feel like whatever you're putting out, people are going to be attracted to that. The ones that want to pick up and that information and take it on. And um, your role, I think your role as a professional is not to try to drum people into, you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, I think you just like offer that information, and people will pick up on that, and individuals will see where they're at on their own individual journeys, and they will likely to receive and take on that information and bring it into their own lifestyle and uh, yeah, like I like to within the agency framework, I like to offer, I guess, a personal development angle, because I feel that those foundational things are essential to understanding your values and your message and what you're trying to do as an artist, what you're trying to do in the music industry. Those foundational things is what you're building on top, and getting those things in. having a clearer understanding of that and who you are and what you want to be doing, and learn and being a bit more self-aware, then that helps with the work that you're doing, and how you execute it, and how you put stuff out there to people. So I think, yeah, to answer that, I think it is a important to get clear on what it is that you're trying to do.
All right. Okay, and
I hope
finally,
I answered that question.
yeah, thank you. Well, more like I think that it's a general effort that has to be done at all levels. And like I'm really thinking about being having a way to reward maybe companies who are like health conscious. Like some companies, they're more green, and they get like some prizes or recognition for being sustainable. Something that would be like, oh, you're really taking care of your employees or artists' health and well-being, and this is recognized.
Mm, mm, okay. Yeah, I think, um, I look, in terms of, um, like, from an artist perspective, um, it may be something like an artist may want to be associated to an agency or that have the same values, right? So, um, and also even professionals that people don't want to work with you. Um, Same thing. If they understand that that's a part of your mission, or part of your goal is to, um, just, I, I'm a lot more relaxed about it than I used to be. I'm not so concerned about trying to, um, change people's minds. Like, I find it a waste of energy. Like, I don't feel like um, it's counterproductive to change. Like, I feel like maybe that, I guess I had that kind of idea in the past because I was very passionate about it, wanting to change the narrative, and but it's definitely shifted for me. It's just an individual's choice if they want to lead a more healthy lifestyle, and they want to do that, and there are great benefits for doing that, and great rewards that come with that.
Hmm, definitely. Yes, and also like in the past years, there's been more and more talks, conferences talking about mental health
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
sobriety and so it's good to talk about it, and it's good to do things about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're seeing it's not so, like, it used to be the thing that was just like on page, you know, 10 or something. Now it's like front and center. Like, there's articles about it. There's people embracing healthy lifestyles in the music industry. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
um
And there's a
yeah.
trend for sober events as well.
Yes, that's becoming a thing too. Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
definitely. One last question. So if you could give one piece of advice to emerging DJs and producers about building a sustainable career while staying healthy, what would it be? What would that advice be?
Sure. I think echoing what I said before is just really sort of finding what works for you, and experimenting, um, seeing and working out what are the right tools, building the right tools that match what you're trying to, and getting clear on what it is, and it's always going to evolve as well. Like, if you're you're gonna keep learning things, and you're going to um, adapt new things along the way, um, and try to be uh, open-minded to that. Be open-minded to being more fluid in adapting, and being able to adapt to change. Um, you know, we're constantly um, growing. We're human beings before anything else. We're human beings.
Yes, definitely. And
Mm,
yes, first thing is we are human beings. So
yeah.
that's for sure. Thank you, James. And
Thank you.
we're gonna open the floor for questions, and I will start the recording here.